Anthony Joshua's been talking real confidently during the lockdown. A lot of fighters have, to be honest with you. They've been saying a lot of stuff. But AJ is normally a very politically correct guy. He doesn't tend to trash talk or call out opponents too much. He tends to let, Eddie Hearn talk for him and talk all the business, whereas he just gets on doing his sponsorship work and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to his next scheduled fight, and we're all hoping it's going to be Tyson Fury, but at the moment it's Kubrat Pulev, he said the following quote: "It's in a way overlooking Pulev, but I've got to look through Pulev because I'm going to walk through Pulev. That's the mindset. I've got to walk through him. When it comes to Pulev, he ain't on my level. I want the boys at the top. I ain't worried about the boys, around me. I'm walking through them all. And that's the mindset that we have to have as fighters. So I'm looking at Tyson Fury like I'm going to walk through him as well, because I had my issue last year. I got through it and I want to correct it. And I told you, people don't know what that does for a fighter mentally when he loses in front of the world and what it takes to come back. And having this time to reflect has been a blessing in disguise. It's been a blessing in disguise. So we'll see what the future holds. And when Fury and Wilder's ready, I'll tell you this: I will not turn down that offer." End quote. So those are the words of Anthony Joshua. In fact, let me give you another quote here. He said, quote, "The only reason is because of that Ruiz fight." And he says this in relation to why he's regarded as an underdog against Fury. He says, "That's the only reason, and that's why I'm ready to redeem and put trust back into my stable. I get it. After I went through what I went through and made no excuse, it must have seemed that Ruiz beat the better man that night. So I didn't make no excuse. So Ruiz must have believed that. Yeah, that night I beat the best Anthony Joshua. And that's cool to think that, but I'm working. It's such a shame that I'm in quarantine right now because it's put a halt to greatness. But this is part of history. But I'm working towards beating Tyson Fury. Whether the bookmakers or non-believers or the doubters want to be with me or not, I have to believe it. I'm working towards beating, Tyson Fury." End quote. All right, so those are the quotes from Anthony Joshua. Talking confidently, talking about walking through Kubrat Pulev, walking through Tyson Fury, etc., etc. I always say, when fighters talk like this, as long as they're willing to get in the ring and attempt to back it up, I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with it, truth be told, because you do see fans get all upset when this fighter says he can beat the other fighter. It's like, what are you getting upset for? The only time I've really got an issue with it is when it's a fighter who has maybe, lost a whole heap of times and he's just looking for more and more paydays. The way they kept recycling Zab Judah towards the end of his career, or even Adrian Broner, one of those kind of fighters calling people out. I can understand people being annoyed by that. But when you're talking about a world champion like Anthony Joshua, or any kind of viable world level fighter, if he's calling people out, you should be applauding him. And Anthony Joshua, even though he's only had, 24 fights now, he's had a lot of very valuable experiences within those 24 fights. Dealing with all kind of pressure, coming back from defeat, getting stopped. These things build character. And it's going to be interesting to see where he's at in his next fight against Kubrat Pulev, because it's going to be a pivotal fight, to be honest with you, the Pulev fight, because that's the fight after the redemption against Andy Ruiz, where he had all kinds of pressure on him, AJ, and he wasn't as confident in that fight as he normally would be. Not just because of the fact that Ruiz stopped him first time around, but also because of the incredible pressure that was on him to win. And there were so many people praying for his downfall in that Ruiz rematch. And there were so many doubters. I think the majority of UK pundits, even the Sky pundits, were picking AJ to lose. So it's not just the opponent, it's the pressure that he had to deal with and overcome. It builds character. But then going into the Pulev fight, where's his head going to be at? Is he going to feel more confident than he was when it was the old AJ, or is he still in the rehabilitation process of trying to process in his mind and in his soul and in his spirit, emotionally, mentally, physically, what happened in that first Ruiz fight? Has he fully gotten over that yet? Some fighters can get over these things very, very quickly, but other fighters take a long time, sometimes years. I mean, Lucian Bute recently came out and said he was never the same fighter after he lost to Carl Froch, and I would go along with that. You know, sometimes one serious stoppage defeat can ruin a fighter. Now, I don't think Bute was ruined after he lost to Carl Froch, not at all. Well, he was ruined for a short period of time. He was really badly affected mentally for, I want to say, a year, 18 months, because when he came back, he was so shaky. I remember when he fought Denis Grachev, and Grachev was hitting him with fairly innocuous looking punches here and there, and Bute was hurt multiple times in that fight against Denis Grachev of all people. So yeah, Bute was real shaky when he came back from the Froch defeat, but gradually over a period of time, he managed to get some punch resistance back. He moved up in weight. I think at one point fought at 175. So yeah, did he fight at 175? He fought at 168 against James DeGale, Badu Jack. Maybe he did. I can't remember now actually, but either way, that's what can happen to a fighter. You can be ruined by a particularly bad stoppage defeat. So we'll see what happens with Anthony Joshua. But the way he's talking at the moment, saying he's going to walk through this one and walk through that one, I'm sure that's not any kind of complacency. He's not going to be looking past Pulev or anything like that. Looking through him, yes, because he still has that burning desire in his heart to redeem himself, because people say, oh yeah, you beat Ruiz in a rematch, but it wasn't very impressive. You ran around the ring. So he still feels like he's got things to prove. And that makes him dangerous, to be honest with you. He's a man on a mission, and he feels like he's got the bit between his teeth. People are putting Tyson Fury above him, making him an underdog. And maybe that will help him. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.